Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 25th February 2017. The first article, it is Moral Economy of a University. In this, let us understand what is the meaning of an institution building, and then how a university has to be, how the environment in the university is changing today. An institution building, it is a long drawn effort where persuasion and patience shall exist, and it has to be guided by a sense of a mission to achieve something, and added to that a vision, systematic understanding of the problem and finding a solution to the same. Added to that, making all the people to be participants in the process that leads to building of an institution. In India, institution building is more like a cosmetic exercise, providing for ad hoc measures to solve the problem rather than permanently eliminating the problem. And universities are a best example for this. And over a time, the bureaucratization and politicization of the universities is increasing. Especially, the universities are being subjected to more and more the rhythm of numbers by bringing in various indices. So, universities are supposed to serve the diversity of the country. Any index is an effort towards standardizing the patterns in a university and comparing them across. So, in such a case, universities that have to serve the diversity are becoming the coaching shops. That is what he's been expressing for. And the teacher-student relationship is not of a clientelism or consumerism. And education is not a commodity. It is inculcation of values. So in the case of university, the normative considerations of interest in scholarship and passion for knowledge, humanity and love for people has to guide the teachers, and that has to be inculcated into the minds of the students. And above all, the perspective of education in our universities has to change from the roots. More and more bureaucratization of the education is bringing in the clientelism, consumerism into the education process in India. So, finally what we can say is this: the university shall be the centers of nurturing knowledge, innovation, criticizing, and it is the place only where eccentricism and new ideas are being allowed for, and they are being allowed to experiment for. So that has to guide our universities. Now coming to Mumbai waits to exhale. In this, any civic body in India understand the problems. The first major problem is town planning. Previously we have seen an article which states that the town planning is more of a rigid bureaucratic exercise, and at the same time it is stoic and rather than being dynamic. Unless it is being decentralized, made people participate in the process, it will not become dynamic. And second is, in local bodies, there is a disconnect between the functions performed by the local body and the words polled by the citizens to the leadership. In a way, what I can say is, there are many parastatals of the state and union government functioning simultaneously in the urban landscape, and there is a minimum coordination among these parastatal bodies. Now, if you take Mumbai, the transport and electricity and roads, these are managed by the state agencies, and the local municipal bodies, they have to manage the civic amenities like drinking water, etc. So in this context, the finances which are being available for local bodies are being taken away by the state governments and agencies managed by the state governments. In this context, accountability and the authority, these are getting dissociated from each other. The accountability is with the local bodies, but authority to spend is with the state governments. And the third important thing over here is the political direction is been missing for the local bodies. So, though we have established local institutions through 74th Amendment Acts, more and more programs which are being centrally sponsored, they are empowering the separate agencies or central or state agencies rather than local bodies. If you take the smart cities mission, a separate agency is going to administer that rather than giving that responsibilities to the local bodies. So these things are making the landscape of Mumbai, not just Mumbai, any other city in India worse. And a significant victory. Now here I need to give you some political history of independent India. Till 1967, India is one single party dominant system. In 1967, few of the states have been lost from the Congress hand. In 1977, government at the union level was lost from the Congress hand. So Congress was the central pole in Indian elections till 1990s, till we got this coalition politics. Post 1990s, once the LPG era has started, we have seen middle class growing in the country, and it also made Bharatiya Janata Party to grow simultaneously. Today, the central pole in Indian elections is Bharatiya Janata Party. And second thing is, I can state it this way. In Indian elections, the regional leadership is very critical. But Congress, after the Indira Gandhi era, slowly started getting centralized. On the other hand, BJP has developed the strong regional leadership for itself. It can be cited as another reason for more states going into the fold of Bharatiya Janata Party. So we need to understand it from that context. And shining bright. So this is about renewable energies in India. You all know that by 2022 we have to bring in 100 gigawatts of solar power. Here the tricky thing is this. Let's take I am a bidder. So there will be some slots released by a government. Then I will say that I will provide you a unit of electricity at 2 rupees or 3 rupees. Then an agreement called power purchase agreement is made between you and the organization. So in a competitive bidding, these power purchase agreements, the cost of unit of electricity is coming down. That is a positive step. And the second thing is, the photovoltaic cells and new technology is reducing their cost of operation. But there are systemic challenges for India. The economy of the scales is missing with regard to renewable energy. So that is the reason why Government of India has allowed the solar parks together to produce 40 gigawatts of electricity by 2020, which is a welcome step. And second, if I want to establish a solar park, I need huge finances for the same. So the low-cost finances from various sources are important to drive the renewable energy sector. So green bonds are being issued for. And already I have discussed the issue of green bonds previously. And second is, the NPAs of the banks made them reluctant to finance towards the renewable energy projects. Especially banking capital into this sector has been decreasing over 5 years. So these are the two problems which we need to adjust to take the solar energy to new heights in India. Now let's come to the front page. It is about the labor reforms which we are going to talk over here. So understand here, plan to allow larger firms to close sans government nod. So don't get into this all article. Just remember few points. After LPG era, it is no more a labor market, it is more a capital market. So hire and fire is the rule. And investors request for easy closure of the shops, easy layoffs, for providing for a greater profitability. Profitability of the investor has become a major concern for the government. Recently I read one statement. Previously it was said that the government shall be an empire. Now it is been said that government has to take strongly the sides of the capital. Now LPG era is not just making the government as an empire. After 2000 it has become that the government is expected to take the side of the investors and capitalists. That is what has been happening. So the mechanism is hire and fire over here. So for this previously 100 is the limit for layoffs without any government permission. Now it has been raised, if the employees are more than 500, then only government permission is necessary. If a company has to be closed down without government permission, it is 100. Now, if you have even 300 employees, you can close down without the government permission. So, these are the two major changes. And then you also know that there is a code that is called Code on Industrial Relations has come in place. Previously, we had 3 to 4 laws on trade unions and industrial disputes. Now, these all been reduced to Code on Industrial Relations. So, what are the three things? Trade Union Acts, Industrial Disputes Act, Industrial Employment Standing Orders Act. These all being reduced to Code on Industrial Relations. Now, in the era of technology, unemployment is increasing. More than the technology, the LPG era and then global capital flows, these are decreasing the quality of employment because employment has become a need or whims and fancies of the investor. And in the name of the productivity, technology is given the higher space. Then unemployment is going to bound to increase the inequalities further. So in this context, we have seen that basic universal income, which has been coming into discussion in Switzerland, Finland, etc. So that all are being indirectly related to this. Now, the same thing, let us talk about the supercomputers over here as an extension of our technology discussion. The weather forecast in India is very complex because monsoon predicting is a complex exercise in India. So, India has got only one computer among the Super 10 till date, that is ACAM, which is produced by the Tatas. Now, Indian Department for Tropical Meteorology, it is producing a new computer for monsoon forecasting, a supercomputer, which can bring India into top 10 supercomputer providers. Now, coming to the live page, the seed vault is as in discussion. So, on the doomsday theory, when entire the genetic material on the earth gets evaporated, we need to have certain genetic pool to regenerate the life on the earth. In Norway, and between the North Pole and Norway, on the below the ice, below some kilometers on the earth's surface, we have produced a vault. And India also is submitting its seeds to be saved in this particular vault. That is what is the discussion. And already I have prepared you the notes. Just try to go through that notes. Now, for your interview perspective, most of you are employed before. The question will be, what did your employment teach you? This is a frequent question to the situation. Now, today I was reading about the vice president. He made this statement. So, how you feel as a vice president? Then a beautiful answer. It's a very much a learning experience. So, try to use this word learning experience to explain your past. Thank you very much and all the best.